Boxing Voice.
Here with Abel Sanchez, trainer of Gennady Golovkin at the final Mexican-style press conference. From what I've read, you stated that your prediction for this fight is a mid-round knockout for Golovkin to win this fight?
Oh, I think it's a mid-round knockout for somebody.
For somebody.
Of course, I'm going to favor Golovkin because he's my fighter, but I think Marco has the kind of power that could make it an equal fight. It all depends on how we're able to impose our will on Marco if we're to win.
Let me ask you this. In training camp, what did you see from Golovkin that gave you that idea that this is going to be a mid-round knockout in favor for us, obviously, because you're going for?
I didn't see that in training camp. I saw that 4 years ago when I first started training Golovkin. There's nobody at 160 that can stay 12 rounds with Golovkin. Now, the question is, can Golovkin take it from Rubio? But as far as Golovkin going 12 rounds, there's nobody at 160, 154 that can go 12 rounds with him. Hopefully, we can take a shot from Marco, and if we do, then Marco's in for a hurt.
We've heard Golovkin has actually sparred with many fighters: Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., Canelo, Angulo. A lot of those the three names that I just named are pretty known for hard-hitting punches, throwing hard punches. Do you really think he could withstand what Marco Antonio Rubio could bring to this?
We don't know that yet. In the gym, it's sparring. In the gym, it's 16-ounce gloves. In the gym, they're using headgear. In the gym, the coach can say, hold on. In the gym, we get a water break, and most of the time it's more than a minute because they're talking and they're giving instructions. In a fight, you have 8-ounce gloves, you have a wrap that's, if done correctly, could be dangerous. There's so many things that are pluses, or should I say that are dangerous in a fight that don't present themselves in sparring. So the fact that he sparred with those bigger names or great names really has no significance in the fight. Once they go through the ropes, you have 9,000 people screaming, your mentality changes, your attitude changes, your attitude towards the opponent changes because you don't want to look bad. So there's so many things that could go wrong, that sometimes go wrong, and there's so many things that could go right that if you do what you're supposed to do, you come out victorious.
You said there's going to be about 9,000 people at the StubHub Center. It was already announced that this is going to be the most highly attended fight there at the StubHub Center. With the found fame that Gennady has gotten over the last few years, coming from Kazakhstan to fighting in the United States, how have you and how have he kept himself humble?
I think being in Big Bear has a lot to do with that because we don't get a lot of attention out there. We don't get reporters out there. We don't get a lot of people that go up there and consistently are putting us on some kind of video or some kind of internet. And the fact that he had a good upbringing, he got an upbringing that made him humble, that made him respectful of everybody, that made him understand what his position and what his responsibilities are in life.
This night is capped off by your fight, of course, but there's also a fight before that that'll have a lot of people talking. Break down Donaire versus Walters for us. What do you see happening there?
Wow, that to me is just as good as our fight. That to me could end up being one of the fights of the year. Both guys are very skilled. Walters is the young stud coming up, who's proven himself against in the last fight just against Vic. Donaire is historical record. He's a Hall of Fame fighter. I'm looking forward as a fan for that fight. I couldn't tell you. I think it's a 50-50 fight. I couldn't tell you who I would favor. I wouldn't want to bet on that fight. I wouldn't want to bet my life on that because it could go either way.
All right, man. Thank you for your time, Abel.
The Boxing Voice.